What should you do if you are younger than 5 years old and you want to play college soccer? You might be thinking, why the heck are you having this conversation before I'm 5 years old? I'm the college soccer guy. I help play college soccer. And the reason we're going to talk about this is, of course, I'm not talking to you 5-year-olds. I'm talking to your parents, to you, mom and dad. You guys might say, hey, look, I just want to give my child the best opportunity in life, and particularly maybe in soccer. What should I be doing as a parent? So I'm going to take you through a case study of me working directly with a parent so you can see what I told this parent and how you can maybe apply that to your son or daughter. And then, of course, if you want to call me, we can do the same call with you like I did with him, discussing what you should do if your child is under the age of 5 and what you should be doing as a parent. And the big message in this particular case study is we need you to create a game plan, what we would call a blueprint, on what the student should do from now until they graduate. What I want you to imagine is you're the conductor of a train. Your baby or your child is the train, and it's going to grow up one way or another. Now, as it's growing up, you as the parent get to control where the train goes. Maybe the train's going to go left or going to go right. Now, the train or the baby doesn't know why it's going left or right, just like it doesn't know why you're feeding it a sweet potato versus a banana. It just is going to eat whatever you say it's to eat. And you as a parent know that that food is healthy, or the baby's allergic to one thing or another, or the child's allergic to one thing or another, and therefore you're going to give it that. So it's the same thing in the soccer world. You're just going to gently guide them, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do in this video through this case study. There are a couple things that you should be doing with your child no matter what if you want them to have a good soccer life. That's not to say they're going to win the most games or be the best player, but remember, and I think about my own brother, I have two younger brothers. My youngest brother got really sick when he was young and lost the ability to speak and use the right side of his body, and nobody ever knew why. That he did not really fall in love or love soccer as time went on. He did physical therapy, and you wouldn't even know the difference now. But the point is that, sports wasn't fun for him because physically it wasn't something he was good at or something that came easy. And for my younger brother, whose name is Ari, who went on to play college soccer also, for him, soccer came easier than it did for me. Why do you think? Because I'm 3 years older and he was playing soccer with me. So when I was 5, he was 2 kicking a soccer ball. And if that's what you want for your son or daughter, then I think it's important to have a discussion amongst your family and go, look, do we think they would enjoy being good at something? And if you start at 0 years old, and you've seen it on TikTok and YouTube where there's a baby already starting pull-ups at 2 years old with their mom who's working out, that child is going to be better than some other child who's just being a normal, fun kid who's just doing whatever. And the child, again, theoretically doesn't know left from right. To give you an idea, for my children, I am going to probably do exactly what I'm describing to this parent, and I'm going to have them kicking a soccer ball and having them play very young. And of course, as they grow older, if they don't want to do it, then I don't care. But I am going to probably make them kick a soccer ball, and naturally they're going to be watching me playing soccer because I still play soccer and I love it. So I want to make the point that when my brother was going into high school, he was cool. Why was he cool? Because he was confident. He knew he was a good soccer player. And when you're a young adult, I'm not a psychologist, but just through experience and talking to my kids, when you're a young adult, you gain confidence from something you're good at, and you're willing to mess up at something else if you're good at something else. So in my brother's case, he was really afraid of surfing. So he was afraid to go mess up, but he knew he was good at soccer. So he would go surfing, maybe not be his cool self, but he was willing to be vulnerable because knew he was good at something. Now, we don't want our kids identifying with, hey, I'm good at soccer, so therefore I'm a good or bad person. But the truth is, as you grow up, it just happens. And if there's somebody that can fix that, that's not for me. My point is to say, to be good at something at a young age builds a lot of confidence. And then, of course, it comes down to every individual. And in my case, I wouldn't say I was ever like the best, but I knew I wanted to be a college soccer player and a pro soccer player by 8 years old. And my parents had to deal with those consequences. And if you ever call me, one of the things we're going to talk about is how I'm going to try and scare you away from playing college soccer because of all the turmoil that comes with it. But if you really love it and I can't scare you away, then unfortunately your son or daughter is addicted and we'll have to help them no matter what. So let me show you what it takes to play college soccer when you're younger than 5 years old. Hello, Mr. Gonzalo. How are you?
Good, good. And you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm excited to talk to you today and get your questions answered. I am recording this. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So just to begin, I have a couple questions and I want to lay everything out. I want it to be crystal clear when we're done. can I confirm a couple things? I'm just going to take a couple confirmation notes because this
Mhm.
was custom for you. I do this, but obviously the majority of the students I work with are high school kids. But I wish more parents like you would reach out to me because it would enable me to help. Like I'm dealing with problems by the time they get to the age they call me. If I can solve the problem with you now, that'd be amazing. So, and a lot of those kids miss out on opportunities because of that. So, can I confirm your athlete's age?
Four, four,
4 years old, and to confirm, boy or girl?
boy.
Perfect. And what city are you in?
I'm in Irvine, here in Southern California.
Perfect. Okay. And your background, did you play soccer growing up or anything?
Yeah, I did play soccer. I'm originally from Mexico, so I played soccer there in academy, and until I was 17. Then I went to college, and I just play for in my college school, but it's not as competitive as here.
And is your son right now playing soccer for fun? Is he with some kids? What is the latest with him right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now I take him to futsal twice a week. It's indoor. I take him here to a local team in Irvine, and I take him on Saturdays to Torrance here in LA. It's recreational.
Okay. And then what is his schedule right now when it's in regards to those are Friday and Saturday play soccer. And then I know he's 4, but what is his schedule right now just regarding his life? Like, is he going to school? What is he doing right now?
Yeah, he goes to school from 8:30 to 4. We pick him up at 4, and after that we just come home. Now it's a little bit cold, so we're not doing anything outside like playground. But regularly, like during spring or summer, we could normally go to playground. Yeah.
Okay. And then we go to prayer. And he's got school from 8:30 to 4.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then at school, do they play soccer at all for fun or play any sports?
Yeah, he has like because normally he would finish school at 2 o'clock, but we pay for the after hours. So once a week on Wednesdays, he has like a PE class. So he would play basketball, soccer, and just kind of just games for kids.
Okay, that's very helpful. And then why soccer? Why do you want him? Why do you think, obviously, I understand you're from Mexico, so it's in your blood, but why do you think he would enjoy soccer? Or have you already seen him starting to enjoy it?
I think I have two reasons. So that's a really good question. I think soccer because I play it, I understand the rules, and I think genetically, right? I'm like only 5'11", and I know definitely basketball in this country wouldn't be an option. American football, because of I'm skinny, wouldn't be an option. I have seen some baseball guys that are also very very buff, and I don't really enjoy baseball. Wouldn't be an option. So I think from genetics perspective and understanding of the game perspective, that's the reason why I'm kind of like guiding him towards soccer. Yeah.
Okay. And you played soccer, which is great. And I want to talk to you about the club stuff and the competitiveness. Well, I'm going to share my screen. So one of the things I want to map out just briefly is I know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we have PE, and then Friday we have futsal, and Saturday we have futsal. So the first thing is this: when we look at improving at soccer, the biggest thing at from ages basically we'll call it 4, we'll call it 2, but 4 counts 2, 4 until 12 is all about touching the ball.
Hmm.
Um, Touching the ball as much as possible. And the best way to do this is to have fun. So there's lots of different philosophies regarding how
Mhm.
to get better as quickly as possible. And there's really two pillars into this model. One
Okay.
is touching the ball a lot. So I'll call this A, touch the ball a lot. And B is play with other people. Now, from ages, I would say 4 to 6, more ball is better. So if he's just playing in your house by with you guys, and I'm going to give you a little toy to buy or to consider buying, that is
Mhm.
really helpful for him at his age, where it just makes it fun and easy to do. But by age 7, 6, 6/7, what is more important, this is assuming that he does this for 2 years. What is more important is other people. And now my goal for him, even if this happens or not, you have to kind of treat it like this. The goal is that he learns life lessons, of course, and has a great life, obviously. So with him, I want to go back to his schedule here. What's really important is he's 4 years old. Is he like a big 4 year old, a regular size 4 year old?
Regular time.
Okay.
Regular time.
So I'm 5'6". You said you're 5'11". So like, I didn't know anything when it came to it. But the biggest thing you need in your house, if you don't already have it already, is soccer balls everywhere, everywhere.
Okay.
And you need a goal inside the house. I'm gonna share my screen, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So this is like a playpen. So you just stick him in there.
Mhm.
You throw the ball in over and over again. He's got a goal by himself. If he chooses a different sport, we can throw that one away. But the point is that this will just make him play because the ball's not going to go far. You can watch him. You can pretend to jump in, jump out. So I definitely recommend, like, my child is going to be in one of these. That's for sure.
Okay.
Next one is these little goals. These little
Mm.
goals and little balls in the house. In terms of which one, like whatever is friendlier to your house doesn't really
Okay.
matter. I like this one, so I'll give you this one. And and so I'm gonna say by. So basically, when I meet with students, which for you it'll be a little different, but number one, this is like to-do list, actually. Will be your to-do list. So you'll go buy mini goals for the house. Now, we want him playing with the ball all the time with his feet. So if he picks it up with his hands, they always copy their parents. So if you pick it up with your hands, he'll pick it up with his hands. So if you
Mm.
kick it, he will kick it. And then the next piece is schedule. So when can you play soccer with him? Probably waking up in the early morning doesn't make sense, but like
Yeah.
every day
Everywhere.
should
Okay.
be playing a game of some kind. Now, I don't need him we'll talk about other players in a minute. I'm talking about like with you at the house, like you're playing soccer with him every day you're playing some type of game. If you're like, I don't know what games to play, shooting on a goal, you can't really lose. Just like
Okay.
scoring. Scoring is the best. Plus, it's too early to say what position they'll play, but just scoring and fun is the name of the game. Okay. So when I say this, like if I were to talk to you, say we were to catch up in 3 months from now, I would expect you to tell me Monday we're playing. Now you don't make them do any cone drills. Don't make them do any juggling stuff. Just fun. Fun is the most important because the moment it feels not fun, he will quit. And then you will have a kid not playing soccer. So having fun is super easy. That's the move. Then touch the ball a lot. Those are the two pillars. All right, so now let's talk about the future, which is kind of the why I know you initially booked. So when we're talking about the future, this whole document you don't need to know, but this is what he's going to do for college soccer one day. And it will shift in 15 years, but it hasn't really changed in the last 15 years. So it's probably not
Okay.
going to change in the next 15 years. But
Okay.
this section right here is what you need to think about. This is called the club soccer chapter. So
Okay.
when we talk about club soccer, there is a pyramid, and this is basically the pyramid scheme. So for boys, so forget girls, you've got MLS Next, which means if you play MLS Next, you can play at all divisions. Then you have ECNL, Boys Elite Academy. There's a new league now called NAL.
Mm.
And there's another one. This will change a lot by the time your son is done. That is for sure.
Okay.
ECNL, and there's also USL Academy. So the reason you need to know is you want to be involved in club teams that have one of these names. These ones
Mm.
right here. If it doesn't have one of these, then we want to avoid it as best we can within a reasonable driving distance because the best kids will end up at these teams. But for Irvine, I'll write this out for you. For Irvine, there's quite a few clubs. Yeah, so Irvine teams, you're gonna do this is Irvine Strikers. So this is MLS Next. This is very good. We like them.
The
Irvine
FC Strikers.
Yeah, Strikers FC.
I have a question. I saw FC Strikers, and they have the option for recreational, and they have the option for elite. Which one do you recommend?
Good question. So I would always start with the elite and see how your son is enjoying it. Basically, if they're
Mm.
not succeeding, even at that age, it depends. Look, every kid's a little different, meaning their personality. If the kid is like, this is so much fun, then they're going to like it. If they're not having fun, they're not going to like it. So let's say, so to answer your question, I would do the elite level first. The biggest thing you just want to keep mindful of is there's these two leagues, ECNL and MLS Next. And in these two leagues are all the teams, basically. And within your area, we're going to be able, this is like when it starts. Your son is born in what year?
2019.
Okay, so he has a minute, but this is the youngest age group for ECNL, which would be, he'd be like 12, 11 years old, 11, 12 years old. So then if we do it by conference, okay, so this is the teams. These are the best teams to think about. Think about, oh, because I want to give you a layout for like the next few years. So think about
Yeah.
over the next years. These are the teams. So you've got Irvine Strikers. Now, MLS, so there's two categories. There's ECNL, which, by the way, all these teams have lower tiers also. So they have
Mm.
what's called ECNL RL. They'll have something called NPL, where basically they are ECNL is the highest level of youth soccer. The goal would be when your son is 11, 8, 9, he's going to tryouts for these teams. So that is the
Mm.
next thing. Eventually, we'll call it in like, a year or two. How quickly can you get him with older kids? That is the secret to getting really good quickly to be with older kids without hurting his um morals. One of the problems in America is I think it has to do with high school sports, but like with high school, if you're a freshman, you could be playing with varsity, which would be good, which is awesome. But let's say you're a senior in high school and you play basketball. They don't send you to go play for the Lakers for a day and then send you back down to your high school team. In soccer, at 16, you saw Lamal on Barcelona. He's 16. That means
Yeah.
at 15, at 14, they were playing him with the first team, going, hey, have 5 minutes there, go do rondos, then go back to your age group, then have 10 minutes, then 15. So by the time he's 16, he's like, I've already played in, San Siro 10 times. I've already played in Real Madrid Stadium 5 times. It's not new. It's done it many times.
Mhm.
So for him, people are like, he must be so nervous. I'm not saying he's not, but he's also like, I've been doing this since I was 4. It's not that weird. So for your
Yeah.
kids, similar, the next thing, now we're not quite there yet. So it really comes back to this. The
Yeah.
main premise is we want them in the elite and the recreation. And then I just want to show you this. This is the MLS next, and I want to do it by region. So these are all the kids he'll be competing against at U13. So these kids are 12. And this is it right here. So I'll send it to you. It's this Northwest division
Mm.
and Southwest division. So anybody with these names, and there's Irvine Strikers, anybody with these names are the ones that we care about.
I see.
Because these are the ones that are going to have the best kids always. That brings us to basically to stem it out here, because that's what I like to do. I'm going to say number one, purchase the toys, have fun. Number two, sign up for anything related to Irvine Strikers, even if it's a camp.
Okay.
And then I would say like do one-on-one, we'll call it do privates with your son. The more you can do privates, when you send him out to people, he'll have fun because he'll be the best. So think about the
I see.
salsa analogy. Like you want him to be the best. You don't want him to go to learn. Screw that. He's learning with you. He's having fun over there.
I
Then
see.
purchase the toys, have fun, sign up for anything related to Urban Strikers, do privates with your sons, and then you're gonna buy this stuff. And then if there's any camps, this was the next thing. UC Irvine is your school nearby. I put the
Mhm.
link here. I want him, they have camps for little kids. And
Oh, good.
the the best thing for him to do, look, they're not going to judge him, of course, but if he can go to a UC Irvine kids camp, a summer camp every year for 5 years, okay, by the time he's 13, they're going to know who he is. And
Mm.
and they're going to go, well, now who are you playing for? And I've known you since you were a child. Of
Mm.
course, I'm going to recruit you. And college coaches like Yossi, he's new. He was my coach growing up.
Okay.
He he'll die before he leaves that school. Like that's how long he'll be there for another 30 years easily. So there's a very good chance that your kid could be that. And that would say like any camps with Irvine, go. Now, the next dilemma you're going to face in the future is you're going to be
Yeah.
invited to like international camps. Where
Mm.
they're gonna say like Barcelona's coming. 99% of those are BS and are not good. Now, if you want to go because you're Mexican and you're like, I want to take them to Chivas camp because it's Chivas, you can. But now your son could get a Mexican passport and that could change things. But my own opinion is if you want to do well, your kid's American, get him recruited by the American groups. As long you want him to be good at reading and writing because not and like as you're already doing, I'm sure. But if he's not playing soccer with you, I know everyone has their own opinion, but like the iPad video games are really good for kids to learn. Like, you don't make them play video games like Minecraft, but if you say like hit this frog, but you have to spell out the word frog. That's better than anything you can do teaching your kid because it's a game. And the
Yeah.
kids learn how to read and write. And if the kids can do read, writing, and math by the time they're, 11 really well, school will be easy. Although one more thing is super important. I'd like you, within reason, start recording him play soccer
Mm.
because what you're going to do is one, it's good for memory, for your own life. Start recording him play soccer, and he will want to see it. And then he'll go, "Oh, that was so good." And then here's the craziest part. His brain is so amazing that he'll start correcting what he sees on video.
Uh,
I was writing out your schedule here. We eventually create what's called an IDP, which is an individual development program. And if you go to like Chelsea and stuff, this is what they do with their 8, 10, 15-year olds. And they go Monday, they'll go soccer IQ, where they watch soccer in a specific way. Then they'll have strength. Then they'll have training, and they do it Monday through Thursday with the day off during the middle of the week. And you'll have to gauge your son.
Perfect, Seth. Thank you very much. This is super useful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the job. That's very good. I will talk to you soon.
If you found that video interesting and you yourself would like to have a conversation like that, give me a call. Links in the bio. I just want you guys to know what you can do in order to have the best chance of playing college soccer. I know it sounds crazy to start at this age, but don't think about it as playing college soccer. Just think about it as getting better and getting good at something. And this is what I would do at a young age and probably applies to other sports, but I only focus on soccer. If you want more help, give me a call. Links in the bio.